Hi, everybody. This is James from Prague. How are you? And welcome to SoulCARE. I know I promised you the opening animation, but my friend Ryan here works with us. Has been very busy with promotions of other things going on right now that we didn't have it quite yet, but it is coming, and it is very beautiful and it's funny. And the two doggies are involved. And speaking of my two doggies, I went to visit them this weekend, and they're beautiful. So I went to their boarding school, their camp. I want to say summer camp, because it reminds me of a summer camp in the middle of the mountains. And my doggies have grown double in size, and they're really good with all these different commands they're getting. So you'll see them next week. We should have an opening for you. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Rita. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Nancy. I know it's going to take a Moon in Cancer Libra. That's an interesting one. Moon in Cancer Libra. That'd be very interesting. Right now, you must be feeling a lot of intense energy. That Moon in Cancer and the super moon coming up, very intense. Hi, Lori. Hi, Letu. Kay Medley. Candy Lee Wood. Kathy Kelsmith. Carol Migzai Brown. Did a lot of you catch Susan Kapinski? Hello. I caught me on Facebook Live this weekend. I was here on Saturday doing a Facebook Live in my backyard, showing you my garden. I don't know if a lot of you caught that. A lot of people came on. We had 300 people, 330 people came on. So caught that. And as I mentioned, I would like to do more of those outside my house once we get started with a more regular basis, which I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives. So if people come in, but that was fun. So I'm doing more and more of those. And I will be doing one this afternoon, also a Facebook Live this afternoon, basically about Mediumship 1. And today's call on SoulCARE, we're going to talk a lot about the new course, Mediumship 1, because we have a live 2-hour workshop on Wednesday for Mediumship 1. So that's this Wednesday. So we'll talk about that today, and also any questions you might have about the new course, Mediumship 1, that you might have. So that's today's call. Love you. Thanks, Renee. Love you back. Kelly Free. Oh, good, Kelly. You signed up for it. Very good, girl. Good. You'll really enjoy it. It'll change your life. Hi, anyone new? Any new people out there? Get the word out. So I do this to get the word out, and I rely on you to also get the word out to people. If this works for you as far as resonation, as it resonates as truth to you, and that you want to help people, open people up to a different way of looking at life and death and this world we live in, please share them. My website and this SoulCARE, vampirog.com, the school page. And I really appreciate you doing that, because that's how we get the word out to change the world, if you will, in a little bit of each way we can. Hi, Lisa Marie. Hi, Vanessa. Nancy P. What time is it on Wednesday? So Wednesday is going to be a special 2-hour hands-on workshop. And that is a good question. It's going to be at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Oh, that's a good question. Renee, do you want to put that up, the information on the link for Wednesday night? Because I'm not sure when the time, I don't know the time for that. Good question. What time is it? Liz. I think it's at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Thanks, Francesca. I'm glad I helped you with Lucy, brother. I'm very happy I helped you. Hello from Burlingame. Hello, Dominique. Hi, Valerie from New Jersey. How are you? Laura, nice to see you. During tomorrow, hi. You're very welcome. Joshua Tree, great place. Love Joshua Tree. Very inspirational. Very much a place of spirit there in Joshua Tree. Hi, Debbie Gomez from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Thank you. Okay. So Wednesday is 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So that's 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, Wednesday, for a 2-hour workshop. And it's going to be a live Mediumship 1 2-hour workshop. It starts this Wednesday at 3 o'clock Pacific time. That's California time, West Coast, USA. That's 3 o'clock for a 2-hour workshop I'm going to be doing with Mediumship. And to sign up, there you go. There we go. Okay. To sign up, there it is. Wow. There you go. There's the link to sign up. tinyurl.com. Isn't that interesting? /3sj6kkc. Okay. And you can go to JVP School of Mystical Arts also to sign up for the course, the Mediumship 1. So if you have questions about the Mediumship course, please feel free, or about Mediumship period. I'll be more than happy to answer some questions for you. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Renee. There it is. So go to my link, James Van Prague, and link right there for it. There it is. That's it. Thanks, Renee. So under my name here on the comments, everybody, that's where we go to Mediumship One. Great school. Thanks, Sandy. Angie, you don't have to be working mediums. You don't have to be. It's a course that's brand new for people who want to enter into mediumship, the world of mediumship, and find out exactly what mediumship is. And also finding out about, and you don't have to be a medium to take the course, because it's ways also of learning about ways of dealing with the energy around you, how to be aware of energy around you, how to be aware of your own space, how to be aware of your own power. So you don't necessarily have to be a working medium, or your goals have to be a medium. But within this space, it teaches you the basic foundations of mediumship, but also being aware of yourself on an energetic level. That's really what it's about. Energetic level, about yourself, your own power, about the space around you, and how to, if you will, tune into the higher realms around us. Because, we as souls, I've said this before, and it's really true. I'd say about 70% of our souls inside, or I'm sorry, 70% of our souls outside, only 30% is inside. So that's the analogy I like to use, is that very, very small percentage of who we are as a being is inside this physical shell. Most of who we are as a soul is outside of us. So it's a way of mediumship. One is a way of tuning into that space that's around and above us and around us, and really honoring that, and kind of have a relationship with living your life with that awareness. So you don't necessarily have to be a medium to know that, but it'd be good to know how to become aware of the space around you, around everybody else, and how to become aware of your own power, your own space. And that's really what the course is basically beginning course about. Grounding yourself, giving yourself permission to be wrong in life. Life is all about learning. And all of my courses, whether it's Mediumship One or other courses I have in school, they are really about learning about the human experience, about how to go through this everyday experience with a new perspective and a new awareness, if you will, of yourself as a soul having this human experience. I think that we have it's a difficult school, this school for the soul. The human school, to me, is very, very hard, very, very difficult. And lately, it's been hard with, I know astrologically wise, my friend Kelly White will talk about that later today in our show this evening, Both Sides and Beyond. But it's been a lot of impacts from the aspects of planets and the stars that impact us, because we're mostly made of water. So when we have certain planets and certain aspects together with other planets, it creates a certain connection with them, and in turn it affects us because we're mostly made of water. So the full moon, the lunatics, pulls, the moon is pulling that, pulls the energy, the water from us. Same thing with other big planets will work with us. And also you have to remember that every organ of the body is associated with another, with a planet in the sky. So it does indeed happen. So the more we know about that, it's interesting. The more we know how to deal with this human experience, how to not be a victim of the human experience, but be in control of, or anyway, be in control of who you are and how you receive things in this world. And the Mediumship One course, and I talk about this all the time with mediumship in general, it has taught me how to live life. It's taught me how to make the best choices in life. It's really helped me to have a relationship with who I am, to learn who I am. I'm not just James's personality. I'm many personalities, but I'm a soul. And it really helps to understand who you are from a soul perspective. Many of the exercises are indeed opening up to your soul self, learning about your soul self, not the human part of you. That's just a very small part of you, but that soul part, which has lived through eons and eons and eons of times and spaces and places. So, and it really does help also to have, mediumship has helped me indeed to have an awareness of other people, and the places that they're in, the mindset that people are in, how to be aware of people that are in a certain fixed mindset, let's say, or a certain way of thinking. And sometimes very fixed in that way of thinking, and it's hard for them to change. So mediumship has taught me, I guess I'd say, a way of living life, and really being a mindful of life, in the interaction with other souls, whether it's the physical vibration or the spiritual vibration, because you learn how to open yourself up to that other side, that inspirational side. And inspiration means in spirit. So opening up that vessel, that box, that doorway to receive those higher energies, we do it anyway. All of us do it anyway. Inspiration means in spirit. So whether you're a writer, or whether you're a cook, or whether you're an accountant, or what any kind of business, you're receiving inspirations. Ideas are moments from the spirit world, which they drop those ideas, that sense of awareness into your mind. So could you imagine how much better off you'd be if you're aware of when they're dropping this in, or you can ask them, drop in this inspiration into my head, and be aware of when these things come in, and not have it spontaneous and sporadic, but really be in control of, I'm ready to receive now. So that's the mediumship one teaches a lot of, helps with a lot of that. Okay, that's a long answer to your question, Angie. I go off in a riff, so thanks anyway. Hi from India. Hi Shaktal, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, darling. Clearly, Kat, I'm ready to take mediumship to the next step. Mediumship wasn't me. Thank you, Kat. Every time I look at you, you look different, Kat. Every time. That's great. See, so Kat was a great student, mediumship one, and it really does enhance your life. Thank you, Kat. It really does. Mediumship two. Heidi, a huge part of my challenge to receive is completely surrendering to spirit. And that is why I've signed up for this course. Can you speak more on that? Trusting Spirit Universe. Yes, very good, Heidi. An excellent reason to learn to take the course, because part of it is that it's that surrender. It's sitting in the stillness of your being, because we are a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. And the more you can just receive in that sense of, you are a soul, and you don't have to be in the, I like to say, another way of putting it, Heidi, is getting out of the head space and into the heart space. Because when we're in the head space, it's that rational, that left brain, the analytical, the judgment, and that's all that working brain, and it's exhausting. We need that, but we also, if we can come from the heart space, bring that energy down to the heart and open up to the heart space and feel and sense and use a bit of that, of course, the head analytical part if we need to. Sure, it's always there. But when you come to the heart space, you learn to surrender, you learn to let go, you learn to be in the stillness of your being. And part of the one of the many exercises I do, as you've heard me say this before, is when I sit in a closet every day. I have people sit in a space where they are silent, where it's just quiet, and all they do is they kind of turn off the outside world and go to the inner world. And you work with your breath, with the breathing. Now, the breath is a natural rhythm, right? So inhaling and exhaling. So as we inhale, we just put an intention behind that inhalation. And whether you want to say, I bring in the love from the universe, I bring in my higher self, the awareness of the higher self, that light into the body and my sense of my being, and we breathe that in. And as we exhale, we let go. The intention can set an intention of letting go of anything limited in thinking, limited in thought, any dis-ease or imbalance. We exhale and let that go. I inhale through the nose and I exhale through the mouth. And by doing that and sitting in that space for even a good 2 minutes, even if you heard me here just talking about it, you'll find that you change and you get to this altered state of consciousness or awareness or beingness. And when you get in the space, the stillness of your being, you learn how to let go. You learn that, it doesn't all have to be go, 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 frenetic. The world is crazy enough right now, as we know. There's a lot of craziness and frenetic energy out there. You don't want to be caught up in that. You want to be observing it, be aware of it, observing it from a space, a safe, still space, not be caught up in the craziness. It's crazy enough, right? So you're in control of your space, control of the mind, and you're in the stillness of your being. And when you're in the stillness of your being, it's much easier to make the right choices in your life from a spiritual, soulful point of view, and not just jump into it from a fear point of view, but from a loving point of view. Majority of us tend to live a life in fear, the false ego appearing real. We have to do this. We got to get that. We're afraid we want to have this one. That's fear. That's not your natural state of being. Your natural state of being is love. Fear is foreign to the soul. Fear is very foreign to the soul. So in the course, I also teach you, or remind you, I should say, about being in that stillness of yourself, which is of love, that loving soul self, not being in the fear. Fear has its place, but it doesn't have to run your life. And so many people let fear run their lives. Look at our society. Fear runs lives. It's incredible. It's incredible when you step back and look at it and say, wow, wow. And it's all from programming. It's all programming, because from a young age, we got to be taught we got to do this to be accepted, or behave this way to be accepted, or it's all fear-based. What other people think of you is none of your business. So part of this mediumship for me has gotten me back to that sense of who I am, myself, and that what other people think of me is none of my business because it isn't. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself. This is very true. Okay. Laura, hi Laura. How can we be happy with not wanting the whole thing, just with being in the 3D world? So, Laura, that's living in the moment. So the past has already happened, the future is yet to be. So you have to have a relationship with the now, living in the moment now, because when you're fully involved in the now, in this moment right now, then you can be empowered, right? The past has already happened. There's nothing you can do about the past. It's already happened. The future is yet to be. But if you're in the moment right now, in the stillness of your being, in the power of right now, you make clearer decisions. You can understand yourself better. You can look at the world in a much more informed way. You can also see where people are coming from, what their background is, what their motive is. You can see it much more clearly when you're in the now, when you're in this moment right now, when there's no expectations of the future, when you have no sense of energy from the past that holds you back. Just being present in this moment now, you can see a lot clearly, more clearly. So that's really what it's about. So learning just to be in this being in the present in this moment really helps a lot. Really helps a lot. I hope you'll do it. Okay. Thanks, Laura. Tamara Sweeney, how would you suggest someone tap into that frequency, our ability to connect? Tamara, it's Mediumship 1 is a course, and there's many ways of doing that. So part of that course is to help you, assist you. I don't say tell you because a lot of people just remembering that sense of themselves because deep down they've done it since they were kids, done mediumship or intuitive work. But in mediumship, tuning that higher frequency, the first, of course, getting into the quiet, getting into the stillness, grounding yourself properly, right? Grounding yourself properly, becoming aware of the energy of the body, becoming aware of the inhale and the exhale, the flowing of your energy, right? And also having a sense that you are a soul that really resides at a much higher level. And there are different ways of getting there with the mind. With the mind, you can get there. And with even physical positions, you can get there. In different yoga positions, we can get to the higher frequency. But I teach a very basic, fundamental way of easily getting there in, if you will, just a seated lotus position and just bringing yourself to a higher space. And I go a whole bunch of different ways in, if you will. And it's interesting because I remember one of my classes once we were asking people, one of my workshops, and I'll probably do this on Wednesday night, I'll do the same thing, about getting to that higher frequency. And whatever works for you as far as a visualization or a sense of going higher up, what would it be? And some people said, well, I imagine I'm on an elevator going to a higher floor. Another person said, I imagine that I'm in a hot air balloon and it slowly rises, it goes higher and higher and higher. Another person said, I imagine that I'm hiking up a mountain, I'm going up a mountain, climbing up a mountain, one at a time, one space at a time, going up higher and higher, pushing myself up. Another person described climbing up a tree and going to higher up to the tree, up to that branch, to that branch. And I go toward the sunlight, which is up higher. So there are all different analogies, methods, and ways of going to that higher level of frequency, if you will. Whatever works for you, because every soul is different. So what might work for another person might not work for you. So it's practice, practice, practice. But indeed, when you start going through it, and I'll do this on Wednesday again with it. It's a great way of starting off, evaluating how you get to that higher level of being. And I'll tell you, once you get in that space and you practice, and I easily nudge you along, very easily. I don't demand anything from you. You go at your own pace, if you will, in your own space. And once you get there, though, it's a real strong sense of connection of who you truly are. A lot of people say, wow, I feel like I'm connected with my higher self. I know myself better. I have a clearer vision, a broader vision. I look at the world differently. So it really helps getting to that higher level of being. Remember, that's the level that we truly are. Our soul is at a higher level. This human condition slows us down. This is a dense vibration for the soul, and it moves so much slower than in reality. It's a really hard place. It's a slow, dense place. It's not natural to our vibration. So when spirits communicate, they have to slow down their energy to lower themselves down. And the medium is someone who brings up their energy to that higher level and meets them halfway. And that's why it's called medium in the middle, right? And meet halfway and receive impressions, emotional feelings, memories, names, details of their lives together. So that's really what that is. Okay. Thanks, Tamara. Long answers to these simple questions. So Mediumship 1 launches this Wednesday, July 13th. It's a 2-hour event at 3 p.m. So if you're interested, go to there's the sign up or go to the JP School of Mystical Arts to sign up, or in my link here, you can see it. Hello, Jesse. Good afternoon. Patricia, how do you remove confusion? How do you remove confusion? Ah, okay, 1 second. Maya Whaley, hi James, having another spiritual awakening and advice on how to calm my nervous system. Okay, that's good. So calm my nervous system and also remove confusion. Patricia asks, same thing. So removing confusion and calming down the nervous system is really a sense of grounding yourself and in being in balance of self. And really, again, I'm going to go back, repeating myself, living in the power of now, going in this moment right now. So we're so caught up in the confusion. It's confusion. You're not centered. So it's a matter of being centered in your being, centered in your awareness of who you are. And we can do it with the breath, through techniques with the breath, and there's all different ways into bring yourself calm. When there's a state of calm, that's your state of who you are, stillness. When you're disruptive and it's distractions going on, it messes you up. That's not who you really are. So it's a matter of going back to the calmness, the stillness, whether we do that in meditation, whether you do certain grounding exercises, whether there's certain writing exercises, there's certain visualization exercises. So all different ways in to release the confusion and release that static energy from you. So there are different ways we do that. And I teach that in the course. Okay. Hi, Sarah. Do you see the people in the world soon becoming more friendly to each other soon? I hope so. It's getting scary out there lately. I hope my grandson will soon be able to see a friendly world around. Sarah, I agree with you. I think that we have to, each one of us, has to change our own life. We can change the macrocosm by changing the microcosm. So we have to be responsible for the space that we're in, the thoughts that we have, and kind of teach other people by how we behave. How we behave. You can't be responsible for all those people out there who do the bad things, right? You worry yourself. You can worry yourself sick, as the expression goes, and that's not your stuff. What you're responsible for is what's going on within yourself. And I do believe that changing the microcosm, our own thoughts, and sending positive, loving thoughts out there, helping another person, smiling at another person in the parking lot. I've gone to Target and I tell you, I smile at people and some people look at me and it's like, wow, that's just like a different language. And some people say, thank you for smiling. I mean, you never know. Everybody can use love, especially these times that are really not great times. It's especially a time to use love and to be kind to people. Again, you can't be responsible for other people, but you can be responsible for your own self and the own kindness that you give to the world, because what you give to the world bleaches in. There's a rippling effect. So try to be as kind as you can. And that makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So try that. Okay. Lene Haffy, hi, sweetie. Your sound healing the other day was amazing. I want to do sound healing now, too. Good, Leanne. That's great. So I'm going to have Anne Vanderwater, who was in the sound healing the other day. She's going to be on our show next Monday night at Both Sides Now and Beyond. That's next Monday night. Anne is going to do a whole chat with us about self-mastery. That she does self-mastery workshops, including sound healing. She's an incredible being that I met in a retreat I went to. And she has a lot of beautiful, incredible spiritual tools that she's going to share. So next Monday, she'll be on Both Sides Now and Beyond. So Anne Vanderwater, wonderful, wonderful being. Okay. Teresa, hi. I started Mediumship 1. I can't believe how much I love it. Very good. I took 2. The one connects and answers a lot of my questions. Love it. Thanks, Teresa. Appreciate it. Yeah, Mediumship 1, it's a great course. And as you say, how much you love it. And it's really a course, as you know, Teresa. It's like your soul's waiting to be heard. And it's a great one for your soul's being heard. And a lot of people have said that, wow, I've taken that course and it's just spoke to me. It just spoke to me of stuff that I forgot about. It's like when I read the book Out in the Limb by Shirley MacLaine many, many years ago, probably back in there, gosh, I would say late 80s, I guess that book came out. And I read that book, and it was the first time I read a book on metaphysics, if you will. And I remember reading the words in these pages, like, I know this stuff. I remember this. And I was like, I actually sent her a thank you. I had her address because I was working for some producer at a celebrity garage sale. And she actually sent me back a card that said, thank you for your words. I'm glad you enjoyed this work. And And it's true. And now we're friends. But it's the same thing with mediumship. It's like you get this information. It's like, oh, I always knew this stuff. I've learned this before, but it's from past lives. But there's all this old stuff that it reminds your soul remembers it. It's like it helps you remember your soul self. That's what the course does. Helps you to remember your soul self. That's a good way of saying it. Okay. Okay, Marie. I've always gotten messages since I almost drowned near death experience when I was 7 years old. During the years, I put it away on and off, but lately letting go, letting come back again feels good. Good, Marie. Yeah, it feels very natural, doesn't it? It feels very, very natural, the way things should be. Very good. Yes, near-death experiences. Again, it's an opening to the soul self. Reminds that we are a soul first and foremost, and that's one way. Near-death experience is a good way. Okay, Cheryl. Hi, James. My boyfriend maintains that he cannot be hypnotized. He says that some people can't be hypnotized, which I have heard as well, but I don't believe that. What would you say? I worked a lot with Dr. Brian Weiss, who does past life regression, and everybody can be hypnotized, but there are levels of going down into the being into the hypnotization, if going to the altered state of consciousness. Because what it is bring you down to an altered state of consciousness. So it sometimes takes a little different ways in. And it's a matter of really sometimes letting go of control, and people have a hard time. Certain people have a hard time letting go of control, but everybody can be hypnotized. Otherwise, they wouldn't fall asleep. Because what is sleep? Sleep is just an altered state of consciousness, and falling asleep means going into a different level of consciousness. Same thing, hypnotization, if you will. So I don't believe that I believe that everybody can be hypnotized, but the different levels and ways in are different for each person. Okay, Sarah Bailey. I'm currently part way through Mediumship 1. Very good. It's very in-depth. Thank you at finding your true self. And it really does help you connect with spirit better. Thank you very much, Sarah. I believe so too. I'm not the greatest of my own publicity, but the marketing, but that's true. I'm glad you said that. You explain things so easily, and it's a type of learning that suits everyone. I love it. Thank you, James. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. That's exactly what I was trying to say to everybody. It's something which is for everybody. It's not someone who just wants to be medium. It suits everybody who's a soul. That's really what it's about. It's your soul self. Giselle, I love your videos for the class. I am clairvoyant, and now I know what I have to follow spirit. I hope to find development circle soon. Very good, Giselle. Yeah, it's also a sense of getting together with people that are like-minded people. And I know people that are here on this site right now on this SoulCARE. A lot of you are like-minded people and looking for a community. One thing which I did not expect in my school, which I created 4 years, 5 years ago, was that sense of community, that people belong together. So I created a new school, the JP School that starts a brand new website. It's a new site. And on there I put in some social media factors on the school itself. You have your own profiles. There you go. And you can make your own profiles, and it really pushes that whole sense of community, because that came out of this sense of community. So on the new school, there are ways of opening your own portal. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. Luann Ford. Hi, James. I wish you could travel to NG again. I know, I know, I know. I will be traveling next year sometime. I'm going to Florida probably next April. So we'll see. You always feel peace after seeing me. Thank you, Luann. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. I think it's because I'm very passionate at what I do. I don't do anything that would waste time or waste people's time. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about what I do. Why otherwise? Why do it in life? Do things that you're passionate about, that you have a heart for. So mediumship, you can tell I do, because it changed my life in so many ways. And it's helped to change millions of people's lives because of this work. When I first went to a medium back in 1982 or 83, and I moved to Los Angeles to be a sitcom writer. And I walked to this man, this medium. I know what a medium was. My friend dragged me to see him. And he said, "You're going to change it. The spirit people are going to use you to help change the consciousness of the planet." And I'm like, okay. I've heard of California's land of fruit and nuts. I just got here from New York, cynical New Yorker. And in 2 years' time, and of course, then exactly 2 years later, to the day, I started seeing spirit. I didn't even pursue it. It kind of happened through meditation and so forth. But it really has helped change the conscious of the planet. Because in my day, really, there weren't many mediums out there. John Edward wasn't around yet. It was myself, a man by the name of George Anderson, Long Island, who did some readings. No one else is really out there doing it, and publicly for sure. That's for sure. I was their very first medium on television, and it was really interesting because no one. I remember that Unsolved Mysteries was there, but there really wasn't anything out there that would talk about it. And I think my guest shot on Larry King Live really changed the whole world, the way they viewed life after death, the mediumship, and so forth. That really helped to open things up for the entire planet, if you will. And obviously, that was a plan that the spirit world had. I was just a vessel of that, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. Okay. Thanks, Luann. I love teaching. That's what I love doing. I might be doing it back in next April in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. Looking at that right now, and I might doing a workshop there because I love workshops. Okay, Donna. Hi, I'm claircognizant. Okay, so knowing things before they happen. I have prophetic dreams and also receive clairaudient messages, so clair hearing, and sometimes smells or scents. Yes, clair gustance, I think. How do we increase these energies as messages are not always clear? So, Donna, you got to sit in the quiet, sit in the stillness of your being. Just sit in that quiet on a daily basis, 15 minutes a day. So, I assume you're already in my course, and I would say take do some of the lessons again, of course, which you started with. That'd be a good thing to do, and that's how we get started. Okay. But that's great. You already have the footwork of the foundation there. Now you just got to sit in the quiet and be patient with it and let it just unfold. Part of mediumship, of course, is the unfolding of your abilities, the unfolding and being patient with the unfolding. I think part of mediumship, which I love too, people when I get to the end of it, it's like, no, no, no. Enjoy the development part. The process is most of the fun. I find that the development of my mediumship, watching that flower just open up and grow and unfold, was incredible. And what it needs to unfold, my surrendering, my sense of love, my sense of awareness, that really, it taught me all that. So it really isn't the development of the abilities. It's not the end of the ability, it's learning the process of the development. That's really what it is. And it's like a flower. It is. It's very much like the analogy I love is a flower because it's very much like you plant the seeds, you water it, you give it fertilizer, you feed it, you give it proper sunlight, if you will, and its bud comes up and slowly develops. The more and more awareness, the more and more time, it grows. It's very much like mediumship. Thanks, Donna. Oh, yes. So tonight's show, I'm going to be doing both sides now with Kelly White tonight at 6 o'clock right here. And tonight's show, we're going to talk about the end of life choices. End of life choices. Can you make a choice, make a difference from crossover? Do our loved ones help us from here on earth? So yeah, what happens at the time of death? What is the dynamic at the type of death, and what choices do we have? There are a lot of people talking about near-death experiences. I was actually watching one last night on television with an old friend of mine, Betty Eady, Embraced by the Light, and people have that choice. They feel I have a choice to go back or stay, and obviously they go back or they wouldn't talk about it. But there is sometimes a choice. I had a near-death experience too, so we'll talk about that tonight too. But yeah, what are the end-of-life choices? I think it's easy to make choices up for yourself before you get to a point where you have to have other people do it for you. So directives and so forth, good important things to have done before you get to that point. Um, of course, I might be biased because I'm a medium, but I think it's very important to have those end of life choices kind of for yourself set up and that your family knows and so forth. Can our choices make a difference when we cross over? They certainly can. So that's tonight we're going to discuss all that. Can the choices we make now help us when we cross over? 100%. And we'll go into the mindset of ourselves at that time, the end of our physical life. Does it affect our conditions when we pass over? Indeed, it does. So tonight at 6 o'clock, Kelly White and I will talk about that in both sides now. Okay. Helene, sorry, but can a dead human get trapped and don't reach the light? And spirit world, my mother died, and that was her biggest fear. Sweden. Helen, there's no death whatsoever. So there's no dead. So there's no death. So there's only life. So they don't know anything about stopping because there's only love there. And when we leave the body, all our loved ones are indeed, we'll talk about this tonight, but our loved ones are on the other side helping us over, going to come back home. So that's really what it's about. And um, I'm thinking in my head that, going back to a memory when I was young, when I was swimming at a camp or a lake, and the family was there at the shore side, and I was just coming out, and they said, come on, let's go. And I was there, and I was so happy that a towel and wrapped me up. It's like that. There's a sense of connection. No one ever dies alone. No one ever goes alone to the other side. We never come into this world alone. We never go alone. So it's a very natural experience, and there's no fear. There shouldn't be any fear involved with it. Everybody no one gets stuck at all. No, that doesn't happen. The mindset, we'll talk about that tonight. The mindset we have indeed have some influence in the experience, but it's nothing to worry about. The dead ones I know are the ones here on Earth, the human people, the dead ones. We're the ones that are asleep down here. We're not awake. That's really should be we should be aware that the Walking Dead here. Look around our planet, see how many people are dead. People that destroy the world, people that want power, people that take advantage and abuse other people. That's the ones that are dead. Those are the ones that are sleepwalking, and they should be the ones that are feared, because they should be fear of themselves, because they're creating conditions for themselves. When they pass over, there's going to be a lot of regret, and that's sad. That's really sad, because they're not living fully now, and we have to be alive. We have to be in this physical body, but to be physically aware now. Okay, thanks, Helene. Midnight, the magic wolf. Doo-doo! I always think of a time as being a past, present, and future until you become a time traveler or going out of the body. Then it's like a straight line that you go into get in certain points. Very, very true. So there is no such thing as time. Time is only relative to this three-dimensional world, this linear time here. Really, the past, present, future are all one. And we're all part of nothing and everything. We're all a bunch of nothingness and everything at the same time. So there is no such thing as time. So we could say points of interest, yeah. So and it's also important. It's good to bring that up, Midnight, because as humans, souls have human experience. The human world is made up of time, linear time. But again, that's only relative to this three-dimensional world. There's no time outside of this dimension. So when a soul goes through lifetimes, what do we say about that? Well, past life, future life, it could be all one. And what we do right now can affect the past and the future. So time is relative, really. It is. Okay. Heidi. James, I saw you for the first time as a child when you appeared in the Oprah show. Oh, yes, Oprah. And I felt connected with you for some reason. Thank you. I had no idea that 30 years later I'd find myself taking your course. See that? I'm so excited, happy that the stars have aligned to meet again. Thanks, Heidi. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I was just, thank you. I was just watching that Oprah outtake. We have an outtake of that show because we're doing that publicity thing and some of the shows I've been on. And I'll never forget that day with Oprah. That was pretty interesting. I would think that now she's a very, very different way of thinking about life after death. I know she does. And it'd be very interesting to talk to her again after all these years and see what her take is on it. But yeah, so that was a good show. I remember she said, the first thing she said was that he's been #1 New York Times bestseller. And I don't know how he did it. He hasn't been on my show yet. So that was the beginning of the show. I was like, okay, here we go. But it was interesting. It was a good show. We had about, I think, 20 people had readings with me whose lives were incredibly changed by the experience with me. And I'll never forget, one of them was really amazing. It was a boy that died he went with his climbing trip to mountains, and it was Mount Fuji, Doug Raskin. And I remember his mom and dad were there. And I remember he came through in a reading, and he said, you'll find, there's a message for you in my equipment that they're going to find for you at the base of the mountain. Well, months after the reading, his mom contacted me. She said, he said this in a reading, it came true. All of the camera equipment was sent back to us from Mount Fuji. And they developed a camera. And at the bottom of it's a picture of the team, of the climbing team. At the very bottom of the picture, in the right-hand corner, was the word love. And that was shown on the Oprah show. And I'd never seen that. That was the only time I'd seen that. I heard about it, of course, but hadn't seen it to that show. So it was good. You can look it up, maybe. It's probably find that. Okay. Shady, how often do souls reincarnate? Good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I think it depends on the soul. I think it depends on their circumstances. I think it depends on the level that they're at, with the space that they're at. It depends on where they're going to reincarnate. So they reincarnate. They go to other spaces and places. There are many galaxies and star systems all around. There's millions and millions. We're just one very small, tiny seed, if you will, or a grain of sand on the beach is what we are. So every soul is different. It depends on how much they want to grow and expand and what their soul group wants to grow and expand. So it depends on that. That's the most honest answer I can give you. Okay. Hi, Veronica. I just love your energy, James. Thank you. This is awesome. Needed this right now. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for what you do to help raise the conscious. Thank you, Veronica. Appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And Tracy, I want to say right here, say my grandson was stillborn a year ago. I had a message from how do I know he is okay? And well, he would be okay. It's not okay. That's our human part of us. And who is he now with? So Tracy, what I would suggest is this afternoon I'm gonna do a little exercise on Facebook, a mediumship exercise. You can tune in with that. Now I'm gonna go through an exercise of reaching those in the spirit world for the mediumship one course. I'm gonna do that this afternoon. Okay, Helene Ackelson, thank you for my heart. So good for me. Love to you and the whole universe and you mean you. Awesome, James. Thank you. Sweden loves you. I love Sweden. Thank you. So on tonight's show, the end of life choices, please tune in at 6 o'clock tonight. And can our choices make a difference? They're crossing over. They certainly can. And you should find out tonight at 6 o'clock. We're back. And this afternoon, I mentioned I'll do a Facebook Live again about the Mediumship One course and pull an exercise from the course to share with you. Okay. And I thank you all very, very much for joining me today and look forward to more days ahead.